Louis Félix Marie François Franchet d'Esprit, the 25th of May 1856 to 8 July 1942, was a French general during World War I. As commander of the large Allied army based at Salonika, he conducted the successful Macedonian campaign which caused the collapse of the Southern Front and contributed to the armistice. Early years. He was born in Macedonian in French Algeria, the son of an officer of cavalry in the Chasseurs d'Afrique. He was educated at St. Cyr and graduated in 1876. After being assigned to a regiment of Algerian tirailleurs, d'Esprit served in French Indochina in China and Morocco. Franchet d'Esprit subsequently commanded various infantry regiments in France. He received command of 1st Corps in 1913. First World War Corps commander. In 1914, Franchet d'Esprit did well as a corps commander at the Battle of Charleroi. On the 23rd of August, the third day of the battle, with the German Second Army pressing the French centre, Franchet d'Esprit saw an opportunity for his First Corps to counterattack from the French right. Despite repeated pleas from 10 a.m. onward, Lanrezac refused him permission to do so. On the 23rd of August, 5th Army was attacked again, this time also on the flanks, by Bülow's German Second Army to the north and Hausen's German Third Army against Franchet to the right. At the Battle of Guise, the day was won by a successful attack by Franchet d'Esprit's First Corps in the north, leading his men on horseback. D'Esprit is said to have called out, "How do you like this advance, Mr. Staff College Professor?" to Colonel Petain, who was then commanding an infantry brigade. At that battle he was ordered to rally 3rd Corps on his left and 10th Corps on his right. Army commander. On the eve of the First Battle of the Marne, Franchet d'Esprit was given command of the 5th Army. When asked by Joffre whether he was willing to accept the command, he replied equivocally, "The same as another," adding that the higher a man is promoted, the more staff he gets. Despite being a naturally kindly man, he affected a tyrannical demeanor to galvanize his officers. Spears, then a lieutenant liaising between the BEF and the 5th Army, wrote that Franchet physically resembled a howitzer shell, and of the galvanic effect which he had on his staff on taking command. He ordered that any man not doing his duty was to be shot, including staff officers. When General de Marslatry protested at an order, Franchet took the telephone from the staff officer Heli Dussel and told Latry, "Marchez au creves." Before putting the phone down on him, he would break up roadblocks by firing his revolver out of the window of his car. President Poincaré noted that Franchet d'Esprit was a stranger to depression, conscious that his predecessor Lanrezac had had poor relations with the BEF commander Sir John French. D'Esprit immediately sent the British commander a telegram signed Franchet d'Esprit KCVO promising cooperation. On the 4th of September, Joffre asked Franchet if they would be willing to give battle tomorrow or the day after. Franchet met with Wilson and Macdonald at Bray. Franchet's plan reached Joffre at 6:30 p.m. as he was eating his dinner with two Japanese officers. Franchet impressed Joffre by presenting a plan for a concerted attack by the Allied armies on the 6th of September, provided Montgomery's 6th Army reached a certain position on the OURCQ at a certain time. If not, he would retreat a little further, south of the Hedmoren, with the 6th and the BEF striking von Kluck in flank. This was to become the basis for Instruction Generale No. 6, the Allied plan of attack at the Marne. When asked by Franchet be ready to attack on the 6th of September, General Haig of 3rd Corps looked as if he had been hit on the head with a club. De Marslatry was sacked and replaced by Maudoy from Castelnau's 2nd Army. 5th Army had seen replacement of 3 out of 5 Corps commanders and 7 out of 13 division commanders, and a similar proportion of brigade commanders. Mid-war, by March 1916, Franchet d'Espery was in command of the Eastern Army Group, and by January 1917 the Northern Army Group. He was badly defeated by the Germans at the Battle of Chemin des Dames in May 1918. Salonika removed from the Western Front, he was appointed commander of the Allied Army of the Orient at Salonika. Between 15 and 29 September 1918, General Franchet d'Espery, in command of a large army of Greeks, French, Serbs, British and Italians, staged a successful offensive in Macedonia that ended by taking Bulgaria out of the war. General Franchet d'Espery followed up this victory by overrunning much of the Balkans, and by the war's end, his troops had penetrated well into Hungary. This collapse of the Southern Front was one of several developments which effectively triggered the November 1918 armistice. During this final campaign, he was given the nickname Desperate Frankie by British officers. Post-World War I career. On 8 February 1919, General Franchet d'Espery entered Constantinople on a white horse, emulating Mehmed II's entrance in 1453 after the fall of Constantinople, signifying that Ottoman sovereignty over the imperial city was over. After World War I ended, General Franchet d'Espery directed operations against the Hungarian Soviet Republic in 1919. He was made a Marshal of France on 19 February 1921, and was given the honorary title of Voivode by the Yugoslavian monarchy on 29 January 1921. In 1924, Franchet d'Espery was appointed Inspector General of France's North African troops, who had made up a substantial portion of the French forces serving under him on the Macedonian front. He subsequently became interested in the strategic potential of the Grand Axis north-south route across the Sahara. He joined a trans-Saharan expedition led by Gaston Gradis that left Colombeka on 15 November 1924 in 3 six-wheel Renaults. Other members were the journalist Henri de Carrillis, Commandant de la, the brothers Georges Estienne and René Estienne, 3 Renault mechanics and 3 legionnaires. The expedition reached Save in Dahomey on 3 December 1924 after a journey of 3,600 kilometers. The expedition leaders took the train south and reached Porto Novo on the Atlantic on 14 December 1924. Franchet d'Espery represented France at the coronation of Haile Selassie of Ethiopia in Addis Ababa on 1 November 1930. He was elected to the Académie Française on 15 November 1934. Death. He died in Albi, France, on 8 July 1942 and is interred at Les Invalides. Assessment. Franchet d'Espery had drive and great energy, and his victories against Bulgaria and the remnants of the German and Austro-Hungarian armies were, independent of the situation on the Western Front, demonstrated by the fact that they came before the main assault on the Hindenburg Line and against a still capable army that offered strong resistance to the British and Greeks in the Battle of Doran. As a consequence of his generalship, Bulgaria signed armistice on 29 September, thus becoming the first Central Power to sign an armistice. In terms of personality, he was vain and pompous, if able. In terms of politics, Franchet d'Espery was a nationalist royalist whose loyalty to France outweighed his loyalty to the Bourbons. British troops, unable to pronounce his name properly, nicknamed him Desperate Frankie. Several French cities and towns have boulevards and roads named after d'Espery, among them Dijon, Reims, Saint-Étienne, Versailles and Lorient. The Belgian city of Dinan has an avenue Franchet d'Espery. In the Serbian capital Belgrade, a boulevard has been named after him, as well as a street in the center of Thessaloniki, the second largest city of Greece. Decorations. Legend on Knight Officer Commander Grand Officer Grand Cross. Médaille militaire, Croix de guerre 1914–1918, with 3 palms. Médaille intralliée de la victoire. Médaille commémorative du Maroc. Médaille commémorative de la Grande Guerre, colonial medal with bars Tonkin and Maroc.